Food.
I've been eating White Castles for over 80 years.
A lifetime of dedication. Man from Columbus is now inducted into this year's White Castle Cravers Hall of Fame.
And News 8's Anna Murdo spoke with the man who is sliding into fast food history.
Let's welcome in Stuart Cundiff. Thanks for being here. This is very exciting. You're one of 11 inductees into the Cravers Hall of Fame with White Castle. How are you feeling?
Honored. I think that's the best word, honored.
Honored. You have a history at White Castle. Can you tell me about it?
80 years. I've been having White Castles for 80 years, a little over 80 years, as a matter of fact. I was born in Louisville, Kentucky on Christmas Eve, 1938. My dad was a Louisville fireman, working the 24 on, 24 off shift. But Dad decided that he was going to do something special for Christmas Eve birthday. So he arranged with another fireman that Dad would always have Christmas Eve off, and the other fireman would always have Christmas Day off. So that set up a tradition that we celebrated. I say we, my family, celebrated Christmas Eve and Christmas on Christmas Eve, my birthday. Up until probably was about 18, I left the house, went off to college. Then I went into my beloved Air Force and roamed the world for a while, but tried whenever I could to go on furlough around Christmas so I could get home Christmas and then Christmas Eve and go have White Castles with my dad.
So this was a special tradition you've done every year. Even when you were a service member, then came home, your wife continued the tradition, and you've continued it here in Indiana?
Yes and no. We were overseas. We had, I had 3 tours in the Middle East and 1 in South Africa, and White Castles were not there. So my wife devised a SOUPER, super burger, with onion soup and ground beef and small rolls, and we called them sliders. That's how we celebrated on Christmas Eve. She would make those, and that's how we celebrated. However, whenever we were stationed anywhere within 100 miles of a White Castle, I would avail myself, and we would drive that 100 miles on Christmas Eve to get the White Castles. Now, my daughter has taken it upon herself that on Christmas Eve, she brings a crave case, and the family comes and we celebrate.
What happens after you're inducted? Do you keep going to White Castle?
Of course. I am going to try to go on Valentine's Day if I can get reservations. But that's the next big thing for us to go on Valentine's Day. They're in Columbus, Indiana. Yeah, Indiana.
Now that you're in this special group, any words of advice to others when it comes to these sliders in White Castle?
Well, I was asked, how do I like my White Castles? I don't want anything on them. I don't want ketchup, mustard, I don't want cheese on it. Get yourself a White Castle, or better still, get yourself a double and enjoy. Just enjoy. Just sit back and enjoy.
Well, sir, you have...
And drink your Coca-Cola.
And drink your Coca-Cola. Sir, you have inspired me, and I would imagine many others to go to White Castle. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My honor.